what would you have done personally if this has ever occurred in your school?
Me personally, well, first I would try to do something before it happens to prevent it from happening. Because a lot of times, a lot of these shootings are happening from students who are not your average student, and they're very different. And a lot of times they might be bullied and, may feel left out, or they might have a mental illness. So as far as mental illnesses or bullying, I would probably do something in those areas to try to prevent it from happening before it even happens. But if it were to happen and it were to occur in the situation, I would be scared. I would be very scared. So I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm probably not even gonna know how to think when it's happening, because I'm gonna be worrying about a million things. Like, I'm gonna be not only worried about myself, but everyone else that I care about who's in the school. I'm gonna be thinking about what my mom's thinking, what my family members are thinking. So I wouldn't even be thinking straight, honestly. I would try to go somewhere and hide, and I'll probably be trying to see where my friends are at and make sure they're safe, and try to basically get everybody safe to hide. That's what I would do.
I mean, I agree with what you said. When you're really in that situation, there's no way to really say or know how you're going to feel or how you're going to react to that.
I feel that your school has changed with the new gun violence that's going around.
Well, like I said, I'm in cyber school, but I do still have friends who attend the school, my local school district, and I used to attend it. And I just remember when they used to have intruder drills and fire drills, and everyone would just laugh about it. Everyone would just make a joke about it. They would tell us to be quiet, and we would just be giggling under the desk, and we'll just sit there and just make jokes of it. And now, I think a lot of my friends tell me, like, when the shootings started coming out again all over the news, and they started having drills, intruder drills, they were talking about like how in the walkout also, they had when he was talking about the all school walkout, they had that, and like everyone around the area, like all the schools were talking about doing that. And unfortunately, my local school district was not trying to have it. They actually threatened the students that anyone who walks out will actually receive out of school suspension. So instead of going along with it, because I know other schools were actually cooperating with it, and they actually scheduled a time that all the students can walk out, and even the teachers participated in it. Instead of doing that, they actually threatened the students. And a lot of people were unhappy about it. Like, parents were posting on Facebook saying that that's not the way that you should go about it. And some of the kids were suspended just from walking out of the classroom into the hallway because they thought that they were trying to be a part of it. So it definitely changed as far as safety and going over the drills and how serious people take it now. Because now I don't really think it's a joke anymore, because now lives are actually being lost and it's put all over the news. So people are taking it serious now.
How is intolerance of diversity and or race been a factor in recent school gun violence?
This is a good question. I believe that a lot of the shootings are happening, like it could be students or people who are just not your average person or not your typical person. They're very different. And like I remember watching the news when the one shooting happened, and it was talking about the man who did the shooting. And there was a female who was talking about how he didn't have too many friends, and a lot of times he liked killing animals. And like you can tell there were signs that he was not all there. And she said that she tried to be nice to him and tried to be his friend because she could tell that he didn't have too many friends. And I think his mother also died. He had foster parents, so he lived with other people. And even the people that he lived with kind of saw that he wasn't really all there. But again, nobody really did anything about it because they didn't think that it would end up him shooting up the school.
Right now.
And I just remember watching and thinking about how he's an outcast and how people probably made fun of him and they probably laughed at him. He already knows probably that he's different, and people probably pointed it out even more that he's different. And nobody was probably there for him. A lot of times people might look at it like, wow, he's a sick person, but I look at it as he needs help. Somebody needs to be there for him. Everybody needs to have somebody to talk to. Everybody needs somebody there to make them feel like they're important and they matter, and not lash out as far as doing the school shooting and feeling like that's the only way that they can get somebody's attention, because that's what I feel like he's doing, seeking attention. And I feel like that's a big part of diversity. Because in today's world, they say it's okay to be different and that you're beautiful the way you are. But in schools, it's not okay. If you talk different, walk different, look different, it will be known. You will know it, and other people around you will know it. And social media, a lot of times, it makes it worse. Because people put it on social media, and they put you on blast, and people are bullied every day. And it's because intolerance of diversity. They make you feel like it's not okay to be different. And whether it's your color, your skin color, your culture, your race, of anything, basically, your gender. So I feel like that has a lot to do with it. And a lot of these shootings are happening from people who are different. And maybe if we weren't all, maybe if we didn't feel like it wasn't okay to be different, maybe a lot of this wouldn't be happening. Because a lot of people turn to it and look like, oh, well, we need to worry about gun control and how these people get guns. But it's not the guns who kill people, it's people who kill people. So I wouldn't worry about the gun control, I would worry about the people who are holding the guns and how we can help them. So I feel like diversity is a big thing, and we all need to accept it, and we all need to be able to tolerate it, because without diversity, people aren't themselves, people aren't individual, unique individuals. So I feel like tolerance and diversity has a big thing to do with gun violence.
Answers, and I will give another round of applause for all. Today, it's very sad to say that gun violence is in our society, and it's not just in the schools. It is in the community as well. Whether you're going out to a corner store, or you're going to a concert, or you're just simply walking down the street, going to get gas. It's everywhere, and it's very sad to say. And it's not just people out in the community, it's also in our law enforcement, which is very sad to say that there are still some people that should not be doing what they're doing.
Has gun violence changed our society? It has changed our society a great deal. It's a very common thing now. It's a very controversial topic. Everyone talks about it. It's one of the, when people run for president, that's one of the main topics that they talk about. And I feel as if, as far as law enforcement,
That's right,
it definitely makes you more scared of a cop,
That's my baby
knowing
girl
that
speaking right
they
now.
have a gun
That's my
and they
daughter.
have the ability and the right to use it on you when you don't have a gun. And me personally, I was raised to be nice to cops and to wave at them and to talk to them, and that they're there to help you, not hurt you. I never really had a serious problem with law enforcement. I've never been on the bad side of law enforcement, never got in trouble. I have family members who are in law enforcement, and the only difference that I see now is that I remember I was at the park and I was playing basketball, and there were some cops who rode by, and I'm sitting here smiling, waving at them. And my friends are just like, and they were like, why did you wave at them? And I'm like, what? What do you mean? Like, they're here to check on us. They're here to make sure that we're not doing anything bad. And a lot of times, the kids now, they just look at them as if, like, they're bad people and that they hate them and that they're not on their side. And that's not how I was raised, and that's not how I see it. So, unfortunately, it has affected our society by making people more scared of law enforcement, knowing that we can't do anything when they can do almost everything. They can search our cars. They can do anything to you, and it's crazy. And people might not always know what happens behind closed doors. Like, you might get pulled over, it's you and the cop. So the cop can do whatever he or she wants to do. And as far as in the school district, it's changed because now they do a lot more to help to try to prevent school shootings. And as far as in the streets, it's very scary knowing that you can walk down the street and get shot, and you could be doing nothing. You could have nothing to do with the situation. You could not even know the people who have guns, and you could just end up being at the wrong place in the wrong time, And it's scary knowing that in your neighborhood, anything can happen and that you could potentially lose your life from guns or any type of violence just because